it show?
Yes.
Is it show?
Program.
Matty McCurdy program. Tell us when and
We'll do your intro.
We'll say
Do you have a
welcome.
specific
It's
intro?
recording.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome back.
Okay, start over.
Welcome back to the Matty McCurdy program.
I'm gonna make that I'm gonna add that to the soundtrack.
Please.
That'd be so
Do
fire.
it. You should.
That'd be awesome.
Hey,
I think
that's good.
are you cool with that?
Let's dive in.
Okay. I'll just try to dive in. But welcome, Allie, Mal, to the podcast. Thanks
Thank
for just
you.
recording my
Thanks
intro
for
piece.
having us.
Thanks for having us here. We're really excited to be here.
You don't have to look at the camera.
I think it's funny. It adds character. It's like The Office.
I feel like I'm gonna start sweating.
I already am.
Okay.
I think this episode's just gonna be lots of laughs.
I
think
hope
that's
so.
honestly what it's gonna be. So I don't know where to dive in with you guys because this is just kind of came out of the blue, sporadic. Got a FaceTime
How about
call.
our age,
Right? No.
where we're from, how we met.
Your Instagram handles.
Yep.
All your socials.
I'm just gonna stop looking at the camera.
I will. Well, yeah, we should probably look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a conversation.
It's an
with
interview,
us.
right? Are you interviewing us?
It's not just me and
I
you.
would say it's more of a conversation.
Oh.
It's a discussion.
A discussion.
An interview makes it sound like it's like, let me ask you a question, now you respond. Now
Oh,
let me ask you a
okay,
question.
gotcha.
So you guys are obviously friends. We've just become friends within the last
Last few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I'm curious, you guys have such a good friendship. The two of you together.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Never mind. No, I'm just kidding.
Touchy subject.
You guys have such a good friendship together and chemistry, and like you guys literally FaceTimed me the other day and were like, can we come on the show? So I think I'm curious. I don't think a lot of people have. Some do. Some are lucky enough to have it, but not everyone has good friendships in their life per se, or at least ones that have lasted a while. Right? You may get some here and there, and they may come in and out of your life. But what works for Allie and Mallory in your friendship? How do you guys stick together?
How long have we been friends?
So we met, I was in 7th grade, she was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't start, like, hanging out until I was a freshman in high school and she was a sophomore.
Yeah. So maybe like 7, 8 years ago, we became really good friends.
Was that, yeah, probably like eight-ish,
Yeah.
7 years
probably
ago?
Probably 8 years ago. I don't know. I feel like our dynamic has definitely changed over the years. We've always been pretty close, but I think it's gotten a lot closer, like, more recently.
Why is
But
that?
I don't... What do you think? Do you think that even? Like,
No, I do
feel
think
that
that.
way?
I feel
She
like
started with we're not even close.
I feel like it's been like we've always been super super close.
Yeah.
Like I've always considered you one of my best friends.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think that it's kind of been like not like ups and downs. There's been no ups and downs in our friendship, but like
Yeah.
it seems like we've been through some phases of our friendship where we're a lot closer,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're still close. But like I had something else. Like a boyfriend or something,
Yeah.
where you know what I mean.
Well, and we're different.
I
Yeah.
had something else.
We're different ages, too, so
Yeah,
Yeah, what's the age
obviously...
difference? I don't even know how old you are.
I'm 22,
Okay.
and I'm 21.
Wait, when's your birthday?
February.
So you just turned 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot, I'm older than both of you.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
This is
Yeah.
Didn't
crazy.
see that coming.
But
So-
since we're different ages, I think that also is a factor because I graduated high school.
I was gonna say, I
and-
feel like when you graduated in my senior year, I had like my high school friends,
Yeah.
and I was with them a lot, and you had your friends, and we still hung out all the time.
Occasionally, yeah.
Well, occasionally. I saw you probably at least once a week,
Yeah.
but it
But-
wasn't like every day like we do now.
Right.
What works for us, I would say, I think we are two very different people. Like, you might meet us and think that we're, like, pretty similar and we, like the same things because we do, but we operate pretty differently. Like, I was just having this conversation with her the other day. I think you were there when I said I'm a very different person emotionally than her, and so I feel like that's kind of our balance is, like...
How so? Like, what's the emotional differences? 'Cause I think there's a lot of truth to that. You know, like the opposites kind of work together.
Yeah.
So what is like your
how I operate.
Yeah, emotional kind of.
I would say I'm kind of very emotional. Any kind of emotion, not just like, oh, I'm sad, but I feel things on a very deep level and really like process every emotion and overthink a lot, I would say. And I feel like Allie kind of is the opposite. And so she kind of is like, we're yin and yang pretty much. And so it's a good amount of balance. Like, I think we keep each other humbled and like leveled out.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool because we fill in like in the things that I'm lacking in. I think that Mallory is very strong in, which sounds like a marriage.
Yeah,
but
honestly.
Like I don't know. It's just I feel like that's what makes a good friendship is like you kind of are able to.
Well, marriage is a friendship, basically.
Well, marriage is right. You're right. It should be. Yeah. But that's I feel like that's the dynamic of our friendship. Well,
and this is kind of off topic, but I feel like it's hard to pinpoint a thing in our friendship that's like, this is why we're friends.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't ever want to just sit down and be like, these are the reasons I like Allie. Like, I feel like we just genuinely, like, mesh and work well together for some odd reason, and...
It's true.
It's not, like, we aren't friends for only one reason. Like, we don't just, like... go to concerts together. Like, we kind of do everything together and, like, could do anything together. Like, if I want to go to the grocery store, I'm like, you want to go to the grocery store? And then we go to the grocery store. Like, we just kind of mesh well.
I have a core memory of, I feel like this describes my friendship with Mallory perfectly. So, when I was on...
Pull this down just a little bit.
I don't remember if I was on my way to girls' camp or on my way home. But I was in the car with one of my leaders coming or going from girls' camp, and we were talking about friends, and she was like, friends are funny because sometimes you have friends for specific reasons. Like, if you want to have fun, you go to your fun friend. If you need to talk about your emotions, you go to your emotional friend. And sometimes you get a friend that is everything in one. And I feel like that's what Mallory is for me.
That's so cute.
Stop.
That's so true.
Stop.
I feel like that really is us.
Anyways.
I didn't even know you told me that before. That's really sweet.
Well, it's true. And I feel like sometimes it's pretty rare to find.
Yeah.
And usually you only have like one or two of those friends.
Right.
I've been lucky and I've had a lot of those friends throughout my life, but Mallory's been really consistent. So
yeah, it's definitely hard to find friends that are good for everything and not just, but also it's hard to not have expectations of people to be everything you want them to be. So I feel like that's really freeing also, and allows you to bring better friendships into your life when you let go of all of those expectations of people just doing everything for you.
Right.
So this leader, she made the analogy. She was like, you don't go to Home Depot to buy apples. And so you can't, like, if one of your friends can't give you that, you can't expect that from them.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Very true.
Well, and I guess you guys kind of said it, but, like, all good relationships are built on, like, little moments along the way. It's not just like, oh, this happened, and therefore we're friends. Yeah. But how, because obviously there's going to be times where you guys get into disagreements or, like, you're frustrated at Mallory or Mallory's frustrated at you, Allie. So, like, what do you guys do when you get frustrated at each other to not just be like, forget her, I'm out of this?
I feel like we don't really fight.
Yeah, we've never fought. I mean, like, we do disagree on things sometimes. Yeah. But it's never, like, because we have a mutual respect for each other, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Allowing them to have their own opinion is...
Yeah.
But we never have... We are still pretty similar, but we do have different opinions on things, and I think we just have to say, like, okay, like, I don't think that, but you can think that. Like, let's move forward. So, we've never really gotten into a big fight before. So,
that no expectation thing's tough, though. 'Cause, like,
it's hard.
It is really hard.
It's sometimes hard not to have expectations.
Yeah, especially when you're, like, I've been learning that a lot recently, is, like, I think this way, and I expect my, like, or I feel like a friend should be like this, and so I expect you to be like this, and just, like, you have to, like, completely get that out of your head, because people are their own people. Right. They're not going to bow down to you just because you think they should be a certain way. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of acceptance, you know, kind of accepting people who they are, where they're at, and, like, then just, like, being cool with them, you know? Being all right with, like, oh, this person's kind of this way, but like that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And like we like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and at the end of the day, I think what it is for us that keeps us rolling so smoothly is that we do have that mutual respect for each other. And so we kind of, I would say at least that, like, you kind of just know that we're not purposefully ever trying to, like, hurt or make the other person feel bad. And it just goes back to that respect. Like, we know we love each other, and so we act out of love. And so it's never ill-intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But keeping that in mind is important.
Very well put.
So, and you guys had, like, some distance from each other because you went on a mission, right? And you were in school. Not that necessarily, you know, it was more her mission that caused the pregnancy.
Yeah, she was more important.
Yeah, she had to just leave. But do you think, like, being away and doing that, like, now your guys' friendship is better post that?
100%.
Totally.
Okay.
I would say.
100%.
Yeah, why is that?
We still talked every week on her mission. We would email, FaceTime. But still, I felt it's hard to feel close to people when they're not in person with you.
Right.
But especially, like, since she came home, I feel like I was at kind of an interesting spot with all my friendships that were around me before she came back home. And so I feel like those were not as fulfilling. Like, I was fulfilled, but everyone was at a different stage. And me and Allie are both now, like, young single adults, kind of in the same stage of life.
Young single adults.
YSA, baby.
Single adults.
Single.
Not
extremely.
Young. No.
Yeah, we're just,
Young,
you know.
Just
extremely
single, not young.
single adults.
This is where you drop your socials right now.
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
Okay. But that made it easier for us to spend a lot of time together because we're kind of in the same boat, whereas, like, a lot of my friends are married. Some of my friends, I guess a lot of my friends are just married, but or they live in different states at different colleges, so it's kind of hard, but we live like 5 minutes away from each other, so it became easier to pick right back up and get closer.
Yeah. It's interesting the timing of things because I had a friend too who we were really close in high school, you know, good friends, had a good, like, friendship dynamic. And then after high school, he kind of went his own direction. I kind of went my own direction. And we weren't really on the same page. And it definitely sucked because it was like, oh, man, like, you want things to be close. You want to be close and have those friendships. But now after, 3-4 years of us kind of growing up and finding our own paths and figuring out who we are, like, we now become, like, we're now friends. Not that we weren't ever friends, that we stopped that, but we've started seeing each other a lot more and hanging out and associating with each other. And I do think there's a lot of, sometimes you have to grow distant to then grow back together because sometimes it's just like the
Distance
dynamics.
makes the heart grow fonder.
That sounds...
100%.
Yeah, basically.
It does.
But exactly, like, I think sometimes it's just like the phase of life really helps bring people together and sometimes it's just timing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So tell me about your mission, though.
Oh, my mission. I could talk about it forever. What do you want to know?
Well, everyone's is different, right?
Yeah.
So some people love them, some people hate them, some people loved and hated them,
Yeah.
some people, so it just kind of depends. But where did you serve? What was it like? What was your overall feeling of the mission?
So I served in the New Hampshire-Manchester mission, but it covered all of northern New England. So I served in Maine, and then I went to New Hampshire, and then I went to Vermont, and then I went to Massachusetts, and then I went back to Maine, and then I went back to New Hampshire.
Dang, they bounced you around.
Yeah, in the first 3-4 months of my mission, I had served in 3 different states. So it was pretty awesome. I think everybody, like, if you serve to the best of your ability, it's a love-hate thing. Like, obviously there's parts of it that are hard.
Right.
And in the moment, you're like, this sucks. But as I look back on my mission, I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Would I serve another mission? Not right now. But if my uncle asked me the other day, if you knew then what you know now, would you do it still? And I said 100%. Like, absolutely. I'd probably be more into it if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was incredible. It was tough. That area of the country, so like the Northeast area, is hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
It's different over there.
It's different, yeah. Not a ton of work. Being in Vermont was probably the hardest because they're like the least religious state.
Like cold, bitter, angry over
Yeah.
there.
Like no one wanted to talk about. They were very like kind people.
Were they like primarily Catholic?
Not religious at all.
Just like not religious people.
Yeah.
Shoot.
There was a lot of deep rooted like Catholicism in some of the other places.
Right.
And because it's such an old part of the country too, there's lots of roots there.
It's like deep, hard Christianity.
Yes, yeah.
And cold and angry.
Yeah. New Englanders are funny because they come across very cold, very like closed off, like I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But you just have to crack them open and they're like the most amazing people ever.
Yeah.
So, which was hard to do, but I loved it.
You're really good at that, though, cracking people open.
Oh, thanks, Mel.
Whoa, what'd you try to say?
I'm saying you're a people person.
You can't tee me up with jokes like that now.
So sorry. I'll give you a warning next time.
I'm going to have to bleep this podcast if you're not careful.
I know.
She said what?
She said what?
She's good at cracking people open.
Yeah, I do love people. And so I think that was like probably the funnest part of my mission is I love people. So meeting people was like getting to meet new people every single day.
Right.
Was like, that's like a dream for me.
Yeah.
So I loved it. It was so cool. And then to also talking about something that I'm passionate about, meeting people, talking about Jesus Christ, talking about the Book of Mormon, all things that I love. So it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I mean, waking up at 6:30 every day is not fun. And like following a set of rules isn't the funnest, but then you grow to love it and you grow to see the reasoning behind it. Mm-hmm. And then it just becomes your life. And then one day you leave and it's harder than leaving home to go on a mission.
Right.
It's really weird. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's good to have like the focused, not everyone does this, but the focused discipline, if that makes sense, you know, kind of being forced or at least expected to follow something really kind of strict or somewhat strict, you know, depending on where you're at. No, it stopped recording. Hold on. So I don't know exactly what we were talking. So I don't know exactly what we were talking about.
You're talking about like discipline, how it's good on a mission.
Yeah, discipline. I think it's good. Yeah, I think sometimes it really depends on who you get as your leader in the mission. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if your mission pres is really like I don't know. I feel like there's like two sides of the coin. One side you get the mission presence who are like real rule followers, which isn't necessarily the problem, but like rule followers, and they're really about like the stats and the baptisms and the numbers and getting out there and showing that you like served and were doing and got like, you know, reached the goal, right? Mm-hmm. Which is good, I think, in some ways, but I think sometimes those mission presidents, I'm not trying to put anyone on blast, they forget that it's as much about going and finding people to bring to the gospel and to Jesus Christ as it is to help the missionaries come closer to Jesus Christ.
I have so much to say about this.
I know. I feel like everyone does. Like,
I have so much to say about this.
This is like the low-key thing that everyone thinks about in the mission, but then, like, you know.
So this was actually talked about a lot in my mission because I served exactly half and half with two mission presidents. Oof. Yeah. So when I got to my mission, COVID was just dying down. And when COVID was happening, they were under very strict.
Right.
Right. So I got to the mission. I hope nobody watches this. There was a 47-page document called Policies and Procedures of extra rules.
Who put this out? The pres?
Extra rules?
Yes.
Like the mission put it out?
Yes. Just my mission.
See, why? Why, though?
So I thought for a long time, I was like, this is so dumb. Like, why is President so-and-so doing this? Like, I got to the mission and I felt like I was in prison. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
I was like, I literally feel like a prisoner. This is crazy. Just like extra things. And they weren't like, eventually I got used to them. Like we had one called 4 Eyes, 1 Screen. So if I was on Facebook or on Messenger, my companion had to be looking at my phone. Like her phone couldn't be, like she couldn't have it face up. She'd have to be face down.
Right.
She wasn't allowed to look away from my phone. Like
I feel like the sisters are the last people who need that rule.
It's for
Yeah.
the elders.
Yeah, like the sister ain't gonna be
And
looking
so-
at porn.
It took me a long time. No, really.
Come
like,
on. The elders
For
shouldn't
real.
be either,
For real.
but no
and
one should.
It took me a long time to realize, like, why. So, and then I stopped and I was like, okay, wait. So President so-and-so was here during COVID, like all of COVID. When you have missionaries locked up in an apartment doing Facebook work all day, things are
Right.
bound to happen.
Right.
So rules have to be set in place. So I think he was there at the perfect time. Like, he was there at the right time. And so then...
And this is the mission president that made those extra rules.
Yes.
For COVID.
So, and then he, about 8 months into my mission, called me to be a sister training leader. And I went to my first mission leadership conference council
Yeah.
under him. And we had a big meeting about policies and procedures and talked about what rules we wanted to keep in and what ones we wanted to take
It's
out.
the old or new guy? The
Old guy.
The old guy.
This was right before he went home.
Okay.
And all of the zone leaders and sister training leaders and the APs were throwing out ideas. And I was like, I didn't realize that this was the leadership of the mission and not just the mission president.
Right.
So it was a bunch. I don't
Kinda
know what
bugged you?
I don't. Yeah, it bugged me,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I was so mad at my mission president for this, but it was actually all of.
The missionaries.
I'm gonna kind of keep my mouth shut, but
No, say it.
I'm scared.
It's okay.
Say it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's a bunch of like power hungry kids that are in a
Right.
leadership position that think that they're better than all the other missionaries.
Right.
It's valid.
That they think they can just make up rules that don't need to be.
There.
And all of them were like approved by the president and whatever.
Right.
And I loved my first mission president. He was like had the biggest heart, sweetest guy. Like my testimony of Joseph Smith came from him.
Right.
You know. And then my next mission president came in, and he is also exactly what my mission needed for the time. And he completely flipped the way that my mission was working, because the culture was very like, you follow the rules, and if you break one rule, you're a bad missionary. Like, if you are doing this, you're a bad missionary. And he changed it to, so then there's another document called Missionary Standards for Disciples of Jesus Christ.
Right.
And he changed it to where we just follow that.
Right.
And the church is kind of moving in this direction, too, of principle-based decision-making. So that's what we called it, was principle-based decision-making. And if you read the standards, it's very principle-based. There's some, like, do's and don'ts, but for the majority, it's not, like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you do need to do this. Like, there is a strict schedule you follow and stuff. But, like, so he was teaching us how to follow, like, we talked a lot about, like, spirit of the law versus letter of the law.
Yeah.
And he pretty much said, my job as a mission leader is to create lifelong disciples of Jesus Christ. And this is my favorite thing he ever said. And I think about it all the time. I wrote it down. I quoted it all the time. He says, disciples of Jesus Christ are agents, not objects. And I was like, that is so true. Like, if you as a missionary don't know how to make your own decisions, what are you going to do when you go home?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's kind of how the mission direction flipped halfway through.
Right.
And it obviously there was lots of bumps in the roads with that, and there was missionaries like thinking, oh, I can do whatever I want now. So yeah. So that's kind of
Well, that is a tough one too, because I think a lot of young adults go out, and a lot of them, depending on where they're from and their background, like didn't really have opportunities to know like what the Spirit felt like, how to make choices, those type of things. Never had some of these building block experiences lean into the mission, and then they go out there and it's like too much, so they come home, right? Which, that's okay. You know, sometimes you got to figure things out, and sometimes you come home for legit reasons, and and you're doing that, you know, for your health or whatever it may be. But then I think, like you said, a lot of missionaries will go and they live this really like strict life where they didn't have that before their mission, and they didn't know like how to feel the Spirit, how to communicate with their Savior before that. And then they come home and it's like, well, I don't know how to do it without this really like set lifestyle that I was living. And so if you never teach them how to, you know, find that kind of in between where I'm still a person, I'm still living, I'm still doing, you know, I'm still like a person in life, but then also learn how to communicate with my Savior and make decisions, then when they come home, you kind of did them a disservice. Yeah. Because you're putting them in a situation where they want that, but they're probably just going to revert back to who they were because it's like too hard to live like
because
missionary.
no one's telling them what to do.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this the other night, the
We
Joseph
were?
Smith quote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally had that on the tip of your tongue.
I did.
You're about to drop quotes on
I'm going to drop it right now. Joseph Smith said, "We teach them correct principles and they govern themselves."
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, I think that's cool. Like,
You really wanted to mic drop after that, didn't you?
Shameless plug.
shameless
It was
plug
funny.
to
Jay
Jay
Smith.
Smitty.
Jay Smith.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's one of the biggest things I think I learned on my mission
Yeah.
was how to take the principles I've been taught and make a decision based off of that.
Yeah. No, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
That is a big part of it. And I feel like that if you learn that, you're going to be, like, that's the biggest thing to learn, if anything.
That is one of the biggest things to learn. Yeah.
So how's that? How's the relationship game now for you two? What do Allie and Mallory wish the relationship game was like? What do the boys need to know? What do the girls need to know?
Oh, man.
We are
You're like, no soft transition, just straight.
We are in the trenches, brothers and sisters. It is rough out there.
It is rough out there. So,
I think dating's rough.
It is.
dating is
Regardless.
just rough, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have to say?
Yeah.
Come on, help us boys out here. What do the boys need to do?
Ask girls on dates.
Yes. Yeah.
Plug.
That's very actual dates.
Actual dates.
Like, I think the problem these days is nobody wants to work hard.
I love the straight up like.
we're adding all of you.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. If the shoe fits.
Literally.
I think that it comes down to effort. A lot of people don't want to put in the effort if they don't know where things are going to go.
No one wants to put in effort, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
At all. Not just relationships.
no,
Like,
literally. I don't know. Anyways,
I'm a very old school minded girly.
Yeah.
okay, what does that mean?
And so I want to be asked on dates. Nobody's asking on dates these days. No one's
you want to be
opening
wined
doors.
and dined.
Yeah,
you know?
wine
Yes.
and dined.
Ask me on a date, open my door, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's not. I think these days boys think doing stuff like that,
Yeah.
going on serious dates, is serious. It doesn't have to be. You're
be
just
fun.
getting
Yeah,
to know
what's-
someone.
Yeah.
What's missing? Like, that's something I don't understand. Why are people not? Like, what do you guys think? Why do people
don't-
not do it?
A lot of it, I would say, is social media
I was going to say.
and just no effort.
I think dating apps ruined everything,
Yeah.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how. Like, what's
It's
your
just so
thoughts?
casual.
Mm.
It's like you just play the hot or
That's
not
true.
game.
That's so true. Okay,
know.
I was literally on a dating app. We all know which one.
Don't plug.
Don't plug.
Not
Doesn't
sponsored.
deserve it. I was literally on a dating app, and I was, like the typical, you swipe. The funny part is when you get to a point where you're swiping so long
Run
that
over.
you literally, like, when you impatient swipe where it's like if the second picture doesn't load fast enough, you're just like, nah, it's down.
Yeah.
You don't even
Yeah.
give them a chance.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
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 But I was, matched with some people. And, like, for me, I was thinking, like, oh, like, girls will like it if I read their bio and send, like, oh, you're really into volleyball, or, oh, you play this, or you do this, right, whatever it is.
Yes.
And no one would respond back to that. And I was like, that's weird, because, like, I thought, like, oh, if you put a little more effort, if you show, like, you read the bio,
Yeah.
whatever, people like that.
I don't respond to people that do that.
It's hard to find someone who will care if you do that, I think.
Right. So then my sister, though, was on the app, and she and some guy messaged her and was just like, he was like, hey, Kel, or whatever, her name's Kel.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Kel. And she answered back, was like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And then he instantly was like, hey, why don't we get on Snapchat or whatever, right?
Yeah, it works.
Right. And so I was like, oh, I have to put less effort into these, like, this app
Yes.
if people want to respond.
Yes.
Yes,
That
honestly.
is so
Isn't that weird?
It's weird to me. But
Well,
why?
Because I get turned off if a guy's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your profile. Tell me about this." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
No love bombing.
Why
I
is
don't
that
know
so?
why.
Yeah,
I
what's
don't
up with
know."
that?
I think
Maybe that's why guys are scared to ask out.
I have a theory.
But in person, I'm very different. I
Yeah,
promise.
true. In person, I feel like that's normal, but like
Yes.
over a chat, it's almost like
It seems like
it's like kind of cringy. It's
Yeah.
it's too not chill.
yeah. If I want someone to say something funny first, like
Less effort online, more effort in person.
There
I
you
think
go.
you're bound to have
Yes.
more success.
Quote.
yes,
When you're in person, you're going to have more success if you refrain
Oh, yeah, that was a
from...
straight bar. Tell me up, bro.
Dab me up, brother.
Yeah, we
Straight
should.
bars.
Yeah, we should write that down or something.
Yeah, let's say it one more time. We'll
Quote on the wall.
Yeah, I
Right
know.
there.
Get a Sharpie.
Less effort online, more effort in person.
Yes.
Dang.
Mic drop. I think this is why that is the case.
Yeah.
If you try really hard to analyze someone's profile or analyze how they're texting you back, you have expectations for them when you do meet them in person, and usually they're going to be out the window and it's not going to be what you expected.
Right.
So just get to know them, put more of the effort in person instead of trying to like figure out the way they text, figure out the way they Snapchat.
Right.
Just save the long conversations and the compliments for in person, and it'll be a lot easier to read them and understand their vibe.
Well, you can't truly gauge someone over like
No.
apps or chat or text or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was actually listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I've told
Not mine.
no, sorry.
Just kidding.
Unfortunately,
On the rare occasion I listened to a podcast, it was talking about dating apps, actually. And the host said he's sworn off of them. And I'm like, yeah, it's literally...
Did you just download the app like yesterday?
I'm in a big predicament, and I'll get to that. But, yeah, no, you're right. It's...
Hey, respect.
Yeah.
We're all swiping.
I have reasons.
we're all swiping.
We're all swiping out there.
I don't want to be swiping, but it's so tough out there. Sometimes you
it's
gotta...
tough for a player out there.
Everybody gets this. Everybody gets.
It's
a
hard
swipe
for
up.
us homies.
Mal's got that dog in her.
Yeah.
She's ready for that chase.
But you can't. Well, something people always say to me is that I'm funny, and I'm like, how is anyone gonna tell that I'm funny over a profile? And
True.
like, the jokes aren't funny if you write them out, you know. Like, I just feel like it's so hard to accurately portray yourself and understand accurately someone else.
Right.
So he was just saying in the podcast, like, it's not even worth your time really to try and play those games of like, oh, am I gonna like them? Are they gonna live up to the expectations I built of them in my head? And so
That's true.
I don't know.
think about that.
For a while I've been off the apps, but unfortunately last night I lost a battle.
In a moment of
But
weakness.
I'm planning on. I got it and I was like, yeah, this isn't it. Like,
I get
I'm
a
gonna
text.
delete it again.
I get a text from her late at night. Hey, I downloaded Mutual again.
I deserve the electric
Oh,
chair.
I mean, the
app.
app.
But then again, it's like these days, no one's gonna walk up to me in person and ask me on a date. That's
Right.
pretty rare. So how
People are
else?
so scared, I feel like.
I know. I feel like I need to build
Why?
the confidence
I don't
myself.
think it's you, though.
Matt, I have
Yeah.
a question
I
for
think it's
you.
everyone.
Why are boys scared to do that? Because you're not scared to do that.
Yeah.
No, not usually.
No.
It depends. See, I'll tell you, like, there's certain places I go where I don't do it. Because, like for example, the gym. Like,
Right.
there are
Yes.
girls, like, working out.
It has to be in the right setting.
Yeah. And there are girls working out, but I think for me, I'm like, a lot of it comes down to, you know, and that's really part of it is I'm just in the zone. I'm kind of focused on me.
I wouldn't want to be approached at the gym unless
See, that's
I've seen you there a
interesting.
bunch of times and
we've
like
made eye contact through the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's like very brief, I don't really want to be
Unless you're
bothered.
really hot, don't talk to Mal.
Unless you're ripped, stay away.
Unless you're taking pictures of yourself in the mirror
No.
and she likes it.
She's not going to like it.
Unless you are,
Jacked out of your mind.
what's his name?
I don't know.
The bodybuilder, Miss World
Chris
Olympia.
Bumstead?
Yeah. Unless you're C-bum,
If you're Daddy Bumstead,
stay away.
don't pull up.
Unless you have a lisp. And
Dude,
you're,
he's so hot, bro. He's so fine.
Who?
yeah,
Daddy Bum. Oh my gosh.
you wouldn't know.
Dude, I should hold on.
I wouldn't know.
Shameless plug of
we
C-bum.
We gotta look him up.
Savage.
Hold on. Savage.
Does he have,
Sharpshoot.
does he have a lisp?
Yes.
Yeah,
So when he says savage, it's more like Thavage.
Thavage?
So he has merch that says Thavage.
That's funny.
And it's like his... He's
Okay.
really hot. He has a nice mustache. I love a good mustache.
If you have a mustache, approach Mallory.
Hit
at the
me up.
gym.
If you ride a motorcycle, hit up
oh.
Allie.
If you ride a motorcycle, send him my way.
Hold on. Is this even plugged in?
Puts up a picture of Siba.
Yo, if I must, I will. Hold on. Where's that? Oh, it's on this side. Do you see it? Can you plug it in?
Let me see.
There should be like a little HDMI port there.
Oh, yeah.
Plug that ish in. We gotta.
Oh, my goodness.
You're doing good. You're doing great. Keep going.
So we're
Here we go.
okay. Are we still recording? That's what I hope we're still recording. Let me just look. Yeah, we good.
Sweet.
Daddy.
Oh. Could have just looked up Chris Bumstead.
No. Gotta be Daddy Bumstead. Oh, no.
Oh,
Gosh dang. Hold on. We good.
Leah. Hona.
I wonder where we're at.
where are we?
People don't know the location of this place. So don't put me on blast.
We won't.
I should unplug this just so no one knows.
We're in Matt's studio that
Thank
he
you.
rents out $10,000 a month.
Dang straight. Only the best for my viewers. My 3 viewers. Just kidding. I'm more than that.
You have 4 now.
You right. Oh, yeah. Pull it up.
He's not hot.
No, just
Oh,
like
just wait.
you gotta see a picture of him like
I
normal, not
don't-
lifting, not lifting.
Okay.
You gotta see like
You're just not into that.
I'm not into bodybuilders.
go down. Him in like normal clothes is what you honestly need.
I think that is so unattractive.
Hold on. Should I pull up his Insta?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to get someone.
The Wi-Fi's really good in your studio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Only the best.
Yep.
It doesn't help that I have like 3,000 tabs open.
That probably doesn't help.
But it's really because I feel like I have so many different projects I'm working on at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too.
Yeah. That wasn't like a flex. I
You want me to
promise.
just pull up a picture and
No. Okay, we're gonna pick something.
just go down?
Just
Scroll
search
down.
with clothes.
Like this one.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking
Yeah,
man.
look at that smile.
Yeah.
I'll show you more pictures later.
Show me later.
Okay, see, that's like less blurry.
Yeah, he's a good looking
Or,
man.
like,
But I don't think I'd want to be approached by him at the gym.
No.
I don't know. I would.
If
Dude.
it was him, yeah.
Like he's good. Like okay, this is him off like when he's bulking.
No, I'm not into that.
Really?
No.
That's like
That's too much.
that's like dad bod, but muscular.
That's dad bod.
That is not dad bod.
That's dad
That's
bod
muscular.
with bigger boobs than most women.
Okay, true.
Okay. Yep.
You know? That's crazy. He's so big though.
He's huge.
That's
I don't think I'd want that.
Really?
Yeah.
He's just a really well known
he's won the Mr.
bodybuilder.
Olympia
Yeah, he's
4
like
times.
huge.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like if you lift at all, you pretty much know who he is.
Yeah, I lift.
You can't stare at the camera right after you say that. Face the
Why?
You want to elaborate on that? What's your split?
500.
Yeah, Mal, you lift.
She
right?
said 500 is her split.
Wow.
What does that mean?
It not what you said. That's what.
It means what muscle groups
Like,
you
what do you work
train. How
out?
do you train, basically?
500.
Mine is push pull legs.
Yeah, the classic.
So
The classic.
Okay.
See, mine is more. See, I've been focusing a lot more on like PRing and weights. So
Yeah.
like Mondays, I'm hitting deadlifts first, and then I'll do some lower body work,
yeah,
and then like Tuesday is chest, and so I'll focus on like the main compound movement, and
Yeah.
then I'll work down from there. So I'll I'll do a bench, and then I might do an incline dumbbell, and then I'll do some squeeze action. Right?
Yeah,
So,
me too.
Some
Mine's
like
pretty
cables.
similar.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
Should we
start.
hit the gym after this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I thought we were going to your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gym, and then my house.
Okay.
Woof. I like to
I feel like
start.
that's becoming a trend. Like, I had one guy on here, we did this, and then we went to the gym.
Really?
Yeah. And then I had another guy on here, and we didn't go to the gym, but he works there, and, like, the next day we hit a
Oh.
pump.
I already received a sick leg pump today.
I know. I played basketball. I'm like, my legs are juiced.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I would do it
me
for you guys.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh, I already played basketball today too,
I
so my legs are
actually
also
have a
juiced.
good point to make.
Okay.
I think for any missionaries who come home and struggle with finding routine and being told what to do, start going to the gym every day.
Go to the gym, folks.
It is a great way to add structure to your life.
Mallory could not live without the gym.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good for you.
It is.
It's good for consistency, and I just feel like it's if you got stuff going on
I
up
love
here,
this.
like in your head, like go to the gym. You know,
Don't even get me started.
Get
on
that
this.
stuff
This
out
is
of
my
there.
favorite topic.
take that up here and put it into those weights.
Yep.
You know,
I can vouch for that 100%.
because I feel like there's the other thing too is I feel like there are so many things. This is the best thing to have up here when you're talking about this. Is if they're asking this guy versus this guy, it's definitely him. Okay, He's cool too. Noel, he's cool, but
Yeah.
daddy bum. Anyways, what was I even saying? Oh, I feel like there's so many things in life that you can't control.
Nope.
And we're always trying, I guess we're always trying to find control in our life. And sometimes, and like, I think that's where expectations come in a lot too. Because we have all these expectations sometimes. So the more expectations we can clear out of the way and be like, you know what, like, here's my goals, and then I'm open to what happens. That's one. But two, I think we're always trying to find control in our lives. And there's so many things we can't control that it's like, honestly can stress us out, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
But going to the gym, like going and doing something physical, that is something you can control.
No one can take that away from you. I've learned that is if you have something that you just do yourself every single day, no one can really mess with that, and it keeps you balanced within yourself. And it's literally
your
just
anchor, among other things. Like Jesus Christ can be your anchor.
Yep.
Church can be your anchor. There's a lot of things that can be your anchor, but doing something physical, like one, mentally it's going to anchor you. Two, you're going to see like physical benefits.
It's scientifically proven that
Right.
there are so many benefits that are more than just physical as well, like mentally, and that changed the game for me mentally, honestly.
Yeah.
So once I started going consistently.
And so Mal, I think like I can tell like you said at the beginning you're kind of an emotionally driven individual. But I can tell like you definitely have emotional maturity as well.
Yeah.
Because some people who are emotionally driven, like they can be emotionally driven, but they're not very emotionally mature.
Yeah.
But you've got a nice balance. So like, I'm curious, like what are some things that you've gone through in your life that has helped you gain that emotional maturity and kind of, you know, even with the gym, like find ways to go, okay, I got to like hone myself in and find what works for me.
So really throughout high school and, junior high, a little bit right after high school, I felt pretty unstable within my emotions. And, let's back the train up back to junior high. That's when my dad passed away when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I never went to therapy. I never got any help with that. And it was really hard for a long time. And I didn't have necessarily the best tools. Like I had church and stuff and would go to the temple, and that was kind of my sanity and my safe place. But after I graduated high school, my family all moved away. My mom moved to Utah, got remarried. My sister moved to England. My brother also moved to Utah. So I stayed back in Arizona and started going to college and started living alone. And I was still pretty out of control emotionally. Like, it wasn't, like, crazy, but it was just, like, I felt like I was having hard days, like, every single day, and I just felt like my mind had control of me, and I couldn't feel stable. And living alone was a huge adjustment, and it was hard at first. I felt more alone than ever and whatnot. But I'm trying to think of when I started going. Probably end of 2020, 2021 is when I was like, okay, I need to add some serious structure to my life and really figure something out because I'm struggling and I don't fit in anywhere. I don't feel good. Nothing. Like, I wasn't confident in my body, wasn't happy. And so that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to make a big change in my life. And something flipped one day and I started going to the gym every day. And I was like, I'm not giving up on this because I had felt like I hadn't really like followed any paths or stuck to any routines prior to that. And so I was like, this is one thing I'm not going to let anyone take away from me, and I'm going to do this and wait it out and see the results and make this change. And at that point, I didn't even know it was going to make a change mentally for me.
Right.
But I don't really remember where I was going with this, but that's when I started going. So early 2021 is when I started going to the gym every day. And I played sports and stuff in high school. I did like weightlifting, but this is when I like really started figuring out. I would watch TikTok videos of like splits, what to do, and then I just learned a lot and started going every day. Learning from watching other people at the gym is really beneficial as well. Mm-hmm. But that made a huge change for me mentally. I just realized that every day, if I did something for me every single day with non-negotiable, it changed everything. Like, I felt so much happier every day. I felt like I had accomplished something every day.
Right.
And worked on myself every day, and no one could take that away from me. And so it...
But you're putting into the tank, you know?
Yeah.
You know? I think that's the thing, like, in life with people or work or whatever it is, there's a lot of emptying of our, you know, our cup, our tank, whatever you want to call it, right? We're kind of pouring our efforts into other things.
Yeah.
But if you don't ever have something to just refill yours, you're going to burn out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of it is also, it's hard to get into the gym because you don't see progress the day you start going to the gym, and you don't feel necessarily bad. Yeah, you feel good after a workout, but you don't,
And then sore.
You don't really like reap the benefits for a while. And so I think it shows a lot to be consistent with that and watch it pay off, and then like be able to look back and see like where you came from. That is very motivating as well, and it like powers you to keep going. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'd almost say like look for the. You're right, because like physical changes, those take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost like look for the little changes.
Mental changes come a lot quicker.
Mental, yeah. Like just how you feel after accomplishing that.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like now at this point in my life that I go to the gym every day and I like do something active every single day, I feel like I have less low moments and feel more in control of those feelings when they do arise. And
do you feel more like present?
Yes.
Like in the moment?
Yes.
Because that's like something I've noticed too. I just feel like, especially if I start my day with something like weights, or like I've been doing running a lot more, which I really have liked.
Yeah.
But if I start with that, I just feel like more present during the day.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why that is, you know?
I think a lot of it is, for me at least, I look at it as if I go to the gym in the morning and I work hard in the morning, I accomplish something hard, and then I know I'm like setting myself up for success for the rest of the day, and I'm already on track to keep doing the other things that I need to do. If I didn't go to the gym in the morning, I'd be so groggy and just wouldn't want to get out of bed, and then that sets the tone for the rest of your day. So it changes everything mentally when you start with a good note.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I've been working with one of my closest friends, like even just like this week we started, and he's not big into the gym. He never has been, and like fitness hasn't, like that's just not his thing.
Yeah.
I guess the best way to put it. But I told him, I was like, hey, you know, like now's kind of a good time. It might be cool, like start working out, hanging out, like just going to the gym a little bit, and maybe getting like diet kind of lined up. And I told him, I was like, hey, I know it. I do some of that for others. It's like, can I do it with you?
Yeah.
I won't even, like, no charge. Just like, let's just go do it. And it's so cool. Like, I'm so proud of him because it's like we've gone twice this week, and both times he's like, yeah, let's go do it. And I don't know if he's seen the difference other than like being sore. Like today he was like, bro, my legs are dead. And I was like, yeah, well, the only way to get out of soreness is like
good luck.
You have to go back to the gym and do it again. But just like seeing him do it and come and show up, I just like super proud of him. Like I think that's it's just like it's the little things and the progress. And that's the other thing too. No one gives I think people are worried about being judged.
Mm-hmm. No one cares.
No one cares. Like, everyone's just happy that you're there, grinding, and progressing like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Show up for yourself. That's all it is. Yeah. You're making that commitment to yourself every day that you're going to work on yourself. Yeah. It's very powerful.
And if you're embarrassed, go stealth mode. Put the hat on, put the big headphones, put that jacket on, with the hoodie up.
Keep your face like this and no one will talk to you.
That's true.
But
just looks scary.
When I started in the gym, I wasn't very knowledgeable. I had some background, but watch videos, do your research, and you'll figure it out. It's not that crazy. It seems crazy, but it's not.
No, it's not crazy at all, sorry. Back to Daddy Bumstead on the screen.
Daddy Bumstead.
Yeah, I can't stress enough the importance of some sort of physical activity, even if it's not the gym. I think that's just like I really
beneficial.
Enjoy it. Yeah. What is your PRs?
My PRs?
Yeah, what's your PRs? I'm curious. Mine aren't that good either. Like I wish mine were higher, but doesn't everyone wish theirs was kind of higher?
Well, I'm 5'10", guys. Okay, it's hard.
Girl can hoop.
It's hard for the tall girls out there because.
Unless you're playing
scientifically, basketball. If I was playing sports, it'd be different. But I just lift now. When you're taller, it's harder to build muscle.
Dude, those short dudes who are jacked.
Yeah.
The short kings.
Yeah.
Short people, I am jealous of you. Okay? Just keep that in mind. I'm jealous of you.
I'm not that short.
Say your height.
You're literally like 4'2". I'm just kidding.
5'2".
Are you 5'2"?
5'1.5".
That is 8 inches different.
Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Hey, short girls are cool though. I feel like.
You think
Not
so?
Tall girls.
They've got their advantages, you know.
Like what?
Well,
there's pros and cons to being tall and pros and cons to being short.
Like you probably make men feel very masculine.
Probably.
You know.
Probably.
Because I think sometimes because guys I think if you feel like the bigger, stronger person. I think you That's
naturally. True, because I, as a short girl, do feel very feminine when I'm with another man.
Right.
Can't relate. Unless they are at least 4 inches taller.
Yes.
But see, I've dated really tall girls too, and it's kind of like it's kind of a hot thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like one's better.
No, it's just different.
Yeah. It's just like a different vibe.
Yeah.
There were a couple girls I dated though that were like really tall.
Because I'm taller than you.
Yeah, because I'm like 6 foot.
You're 6 foot?
Yeah, I'm like 5'11", 6 foot. I'm in there.
You're 5'11".
No, I'm 6 foot.
Back to the dating apps.
Yeah.
Boys need to stop lying about their height.
About your height.
No. Okay, I'm 6 foot. I promise you.
Should we measure?
No, there's nothing to measure in here.
Okay. See.
But how tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, let's stand up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're literally not even.
No, come over here.
How the camera's not even gonna see this?
That's okay.
Here, come over to my side.
Okay,
This is a wild episode.
On my way.
This is kind of wild.
I've never had an audience member.
Face back to back towards this way, so I can
shoes.
see. No, other way. Flip.
This way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you're like maybe an inch taller than her.
Let's go. How tall are you? 5'11"? Yeah. Okay. Cool. She's 5'11", so that makes me see.
Okay.
All right, so I'm probably like 5'11 and a half.
Okay.
But in the right pair of shoes, I'm 6 foot.
Why do all boys lie about their height?
Me too.
Because okay.
Are they insecure?
It's an ego thing.
No. I mean, I feel mentally like I'm 7 feet tall.
Pride.
That's good.
Yeah,
Pride and ego needs to.
I think there a lot of it too. There are some girls though, like when you talk to them, they make such a big deal about the height.
It's usually tall girls, I think.
Yeah, like if they're. Yeah, but like.
Right? Am I wrong though?
Sometimes.
Because you're tall.
Because they want to wear their
Because
clothes.
it's a big deal. Like, you want to date someone taller than you.
Back to what you said. If it makes men feel masculine, I think people like me who are 5'10" make a big deal out of it because we want to feel feminine
right.
and small. Because I felt big my whole life because I've always been the tall girl, always been taller than most of the people around me. So I feel big, and so I want to feel small. So I want to make sure I'm receiving that.
So let me ask you this from a theoretical, just purely theoretical. If I were to like hit on you, right? If we start dating, would I make you feel feminine, or am I too short? Where do I sit on the meter? Yeah.
If you're like at least my height, that's like fine to me, but I don't want to. I know it works for some people, but I'm not particularly interested in dating someone shorter / smaller than me. So
right.
Like,
it could work if it. I don't know.
I feel like I could. I was telling Mallory the other day, my short limit is like 5'5" or 5'6". Like that's tall
true.
enough for me because I'm so short. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really.
But if they're shorter than you, that would probably be kind of like.
Yeah, shorter than me.
That'd be tough.
That'd be tough. You don't see many guys shorter than me, so.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got talk about the squat booty.
Yeah.
He's got
What's
cheeks.
his PR?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he can't be that high. He's like, I feel like if you're that short, you can't be.
Right.
Yep.
But dude, we literally were messaging today. Oh, my phone's up there. We were literally messaging today, and because I posted a video about my deadlifting, and he was like, "Dang, bro, looking sexy," like whatever. And then I sent back. I was like, "Just trying to get that peach like you." And anyways, but he does have it. He's killing it. I don't know why I'm plugging him so hard, but anyways.
Yeah, you really are.
Dude, he's a stud. He deserves to be plugged.
Does he?
Yep. I won't say his name. I won't put him on blast, but.
Can you tell us later?
Yeah. His first name's Nate.
Nate.
Yeah.
Hi, Nate.
Little Nate on TikTok, I believe.
Wow. Says he won't.
Okay, shout out Nate. He's cool. He's a good guy. Yeah, I think I don't know how we even got on that topic, but of the height and all that. But
yeah, the gym,
yeah. But I mean, size doesn't really matter. Height doesn't really matter, right?
For some people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of preference, I'd say.
I mean, preference. Yep.
I don't know because I've never been face to face with like my soulmate. So,
have any of us?
Well,
yeah. Do you guys believe in soulmates?
That's what I was going to say.
That's controversial.
I don't know if I do or not. Yeah.
Some people really do.
I don't.
But I haven't been in the position with someone who is shorter than me that I'm like really compatible with to know if I could make it work or not.
Right.
So
if you haven't been exposed to it, because I feel like there's girls that I've seen before, and I was like, nah, probably not. But then maybe they approached me, and then my mind was like, okay, maybe, and then maybe they were taller or whatever, and I wouldn't have necessarily thought. I just was like, oh, first glance, probably not compatible.
Yeah.
But then they approached me, or vice versa, and I think it kind of like the wheels start turning. You start thinking about them in that light,
yeah,
and then it shifts.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I think sometimes people just need to like put it out there.
Yeah.
Like
Be
that
shameless.
they like someone
Shameless
or that
in your
they're
feelings.
interested.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of people aren't even thinking that way until you put in that light.
That's true.
Yeah. It's true.
Good point.
But most people don't want to get rejected, so I think that really spooks people.
Stuff out there.
But I feel like that's more on the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. But apparently, I've recently learned that 80% of women who make the first move end up marrying that person. So
that's
maybe
true.
Women need to start working. But I don't want.
Well, I don't want to do it. Though.
I want to be approached, please.
Well, I think maybe that's partially one. Well, one obviously, like guys don't like make the move too. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like I think it's attractive when girls do make the move because one, it shows confidence.
Yeah, we were just talking about this.
Yeah. But two, I think also like I think men's biggest thing they want in a woman is loyalty. Just I was reading that somewhere. That's like the biggest thing a man wants.
Interesting.
And like if a woman approaches him and is like, "Hey, I'm really into you," like I almost feel like that shows more sign of like loyalty because he's like, "Oh, she's into me," not just like, "Oh, I put interest out there and I'm trying to get her to get into me."
Yeah, that's true.
Get into me. Wow. Pause. Be into me. There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
Gonna
have to believe that. Dang. I don't know. That's just a thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try harder to be those girls.
I don't know. I feel you guys got a good balance going. I feel like you guys aren't the problem, I don't think.
Well, the problem is
so?
I don't get asked on dates.
Yeah, that's lame.
So
if you put forth effort and a guy doesn't ask you out on date,
yeah,
then that's on them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. People just don't approach people
But
anymore.
dates nowadays do kind of suck, so
Yeah.
you're not missing much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is I don't find a lot of interest in, like, going on dates with someone if I'm not already, like, a little bit interested
what
in
sucks
them.
is, like, first dates. You have to go on, like, a million first dates, and first dates are the worst.
Yeah.
So, unless you already know him and, like, you're, like, somewhat friends, if it's somebody you really don't know, they're the worst.
You know what you should do? Hack for the dating apps. You should do the dating app thing, right, if you want. Message the person. Then after, like, a few messages, go back and forth. If you ask them out, you should get their number, obviously. But then you should, like, call them or FaceTime them beforehand.
Yeah.
That's
Because
smart.
then basically it's like a mini date.
Yeah.
And
Talk to, like, yes.
The prereqs.
To their voice,
Right.
yeah.
And keep it casual, like go get froyo or go get like lunch or something, because then then you're not spending a ton of money. Two, you can basically just tell them like, hey, if you think I'm weird and this is terrible, then at least it was like an hour long, right?
Yeah. I do like short and sweet.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Because
It
then
doesn't
you guys
have to
can
be
know.
crazy. I think that's the problem these days. It doesn't have to be crazy.
You don't have to have some big
You just
ol',
have
like-
to be forward and put in the effort to get there. So that's what people don't do is they don't put in. I'm sure anyone would go on a hour-long date, like get a soda, get a drink,
Yeah.
ice cream, but
Yeah.
it's the making